Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Grimhammer here, bringing you guys the next in the series, the Vindicta guide, the Light Destroyer. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright, so the first loadout we're looking at here is going to be the Plasma Assassin build. It's going to come with flak turrets. You're going to have Plasma Ram, Disruptor Missile, Drain Pulse, Thrust Amplifier, and for your OBs, you're going to run Desperate Measures, Modulamper, Engine Rigger, and Reinforced. Alright, so let's hop into a match with the Plasma Assassin build. Now, this build uses Plasma Ram, and this is usually my go-to loadout A slot for my Vindicta, so let's just hop right in here. I'm going to start the match off, and I'm going to kind of try to flank them. You want to play kind of a stealthy approach with the Vindicta. You have a lot of one-shot capability with the Ram, but you want to make sure that you're flanking because you are kind of a squishy target. So I'm going to kind of sneak around here from the back and go in from behind with the Ram. And that's how you kind of want to start most engagements with the Vindicta. And then I'm just going to kind of come through here and pretty much miss the initial Ram and then finally poke them with it. But, I mean, that's pretty much how you want to start most fights with the Vindicta. You kind of want to go with the flanking approach. And then, so to kind of discuss the build a little bit, we got Ram, obviously Plasma, and then the secondary, I choose Disruptor Missile because it's really nice to lock down. You got healers, you can take away their auto beams and their chance to do repair pods. You can take off Armor Ant from Dreads. And it's just an all-around nice thing to have. Drain Pulse is because when I go in and ram, 9 times out of 10, I'm right in the middle of the heal ball. That way I can go ahead and take all the people around me's energy away from them, and then I can start going with my flax to kind of just do a bunch of, like, upfront damage. Thrust Stamp, because Thrust Stamp and Engine Rigger together can get you ludicrous speed on the Vindicta. We're talking easily can outrun Valcors. It's super fast. And then the choice of OBs we're using here is Desperate Measures, Modulamper, Engine Rigger, and Reinforced. Now, Desperate Measures, when you get low health, it resets all your cooldowns and fills up your energy, which at that time when you're getting low health, after your first initial ram, you want to try lining up a second one. That way, when all your stuff cools down, you can thrust stamp right into a second ram and get a nice little double kill and potentially take out both their healers. At the same time, Reinforced because it raises the health of the Vindicta and gives you a higher threshold for Desperate Measures to proc, which is great. Modulamper for the ram itself. Now, when you modulamp a ram, you do it right as you're about to make contact. It doesn't have to be channeled before you activate the ram. It's just as you're about to, like, as you're connecting. You want to go ahead and hit power to weapons. You'll get that amp damage, and you can go ahead and turn it back off. And then Engine Rigger, obviously, like I said before, Engine Rigger together with Thrust Amp is insane speed. So how you kind of want to play this build is you want to flank. You have most of your modules are committed to making sure your RAM connects and does a lot of damage, and that it has a couple of supporting modules to go ahead and help while you're in the middle of that fight. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the score screen here. This pretty much is going to kind of show the kind of point spread you're looking at off of a good round with, some plasma rams. So, I did pretty decent. I had a really good team. Goddrake did really great as a healer. He kind of picked me up through a couple of nice little scraps I had. So, shout out to him. He did really awesome as a healer. So, as you can see here, I got about 11 kills, decent damage output, double kill. And you can kind of see the point spread of what this build's going to get you. And I mean, that's pretty much it to it, man. Flank, flank, flank. Target soft targets, the enemy healers, their arties if you can, some low health destroyers, even light dreadnoughts like the Gravis and the Lorica. You can do a lot of damage to them if you modulamp your ram. Make sure you disrupt before you go and modulamp your ram. You can drain them and flak them down pretty quick. And I mean, that's kind of the go-to with this build. Flank, assassinate, rinse, repeat. This is kind of a suicide runner build, so you will die a couple of times, but don't let it frustrate you. As long as you're trading 1 for 1 or 1 for 2, you're good to go. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and step next into the second loadout B build. Alright, so we're going to take a look at loadout B here, which will be the Debuff Assassin build. Now, this build, you're going to take Purge Ram, Disruptor Missile, Scramble Pulse, and Thrust Stamp. And your OBs are going to stay pretty much the same with Desperate Measures, Engine Rigger Reinforced. The only change, we're going to swap Modulamper for Survival Instinct. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at loadout B on the Vindicta, the Debuff Assassin build here. So basically we're running Purge Ram, and it's a great module for debuffing the enemy team. It's like a Tartarus nuke on the front of a ram, which is great for your team because you're constantly draining, disrupting, and stasising the enemy team. As long as you go in and hit a nice cluster of them, you kind of want to play it like the Plasma Assassin build. You want to stay hidden. You want to flank. And you want to constantly keep the pressure up. The same thing with Plasma Ram. You want to be trading. You don't want to go in there because I mean, Vindicta, when you do Ram builds, it's kind of a suicide build, and you don't want to be going in there and just dying and feeding, kills. You want to go in there 1 for 1, 1 for 2. Get as many kills as you can, and that's part of the reason why we run Survival Instinct on it, because you're debuffing the enemy, you're draining them and all that, and then when you get low health for Desperate Measures to proc, you also are getting Survival Instinct, which is going to reload your flax faster, so you'll be able to just pump out more and more damage. Also, with this build, we're running Scramble Pulse, which means when you go in there, you can kind of just basically lock out the enemy's field of vision as well, which is hell for healers, because you're already going in there and you're debuffing their whole team with this Purge, and then now they're all blind. So now this healer, not only can he not use his modules, he has no auto beams anymore. He can't pop a repair pod while he's blind, and now he can't see to know who he needs to be healing, which is very important for a healer on the enemy team. So, and basically you're locking down their potential to be able to effectively combat you and your team as well. And so you play a very important role as the Purge Ram. Now, more or less, you go in there and you're just debuffing the crap out of them. And your team, hopefully, if you're playing with your squad will probably follow up right away. If you're playing with the randoms, it's nice to kind of throw in their chat, hey, look, I'm running Purge Ram. I'm gonna be running debuffs. As soon as you see me go in, get ready to just unload all the damage you got into the enemies that are affected by my Purge. And at the beginning of this match, I kind of let them know, look, I got Purge Ram. I'm going to go ahead and flank them. You guys just be ready to come over the wall. And this team did exactly that. And shout out to the couple of guys in here, the Bob guys, Blue Light and Thor. They did very well in coordinating with that, and really good respect to those guys. They also were really good healers this round. They kind of saved me on a couple of them. And you'll notice a couple of times in this match, I'm kind of going back and restarting. I did die a lot in this match, but I made up for it by trading. I traded a lot this match. A couple of them where I was trading 1 for 4 kills. And so we kind of just, same thing, man. You want to run it like the Plasma Ram. You want to flank and gank, and keep running that Purge. Make sure you're hitting the clusters, the tightest group of enemies, so you can get the most effect out of your Purge Ram. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here as we load into the score screen. And you're gonna notice this run I had a lot of kills. Now you can get a good bit of kills out of the Purge Ram, but it's mainly for a team support thing. But you can do phenomenal results with it in a solo build. So 4 double kills, 16 kills, good bit of destroyer damage, and the guys they're chatting about it, that I didn't leave any kills for them, but these guys helped a lot. If it wasn't for them basically keeping most of the aggro on their heal ball and giving me options to run in and good timing to be able to run in, I wouldn't have been able to pull that off. And so it was more, it's a shout to these guys for playing their role perfectly and allowing me to get in there and be able to run that Purge into the enemy team. So that's all for now, guys. And tune in for the next guide, which will be on the Vigo. And thanks again for watching.